Right on. Nice spots, man. Alright guys, how's everybody doing? This is an old video that I had talking about popping corks, and still a bunch of good information. Still believe the way I felt back there about these. The only difference is right now I am using these types of corks more because as a guide using live bait, that's what I use. But I have caught some with artificials with some gulps on there. So the setup I normally always do everywhere, I have my 30-pound braid, I have my Norton quick twist, and then I have my leader set up, and usually it's my rattle weight 20-pound leader. It's going to be about a foot to 18 inches, and then I either put on my treble hook for my shrimp or the croaker hook for the croaker. Now the reason that I like using this one for live bait and stuff is me and my buddy were out fishing the other day, and he was using this one right here, which I love, with only about a foot to 18 inches of leader, and we were in 4 foot of water, and I was using this, and I was using I was popping, so I was popping it on here like this, sliding it down this way, pushing this thing on there. Now look at all that, still going, look at all that. Now I got 2.5 to 3 foot. So the water level came to play. He told me, hey, I'm popping cork. Well, we were like literally popping corks 2 foot next to each other, and I was getting one after another. And it was because my bait was lower down where the fish. Yes, we were popping the popping corks, but the fish were looking up pretty much right face to face with my meal and taking it, and you know they were having to swim higher. He was catching, but not like me every cast. So that's why I like those. You can tell right here, my 4 horsemen, look how beat up it is. I like the way these things act. I love the way these things act, but you have to retie one of these every time you do it. My buddy I'm talking about a minute ago, he retied his put thing. What happened? He started pulling in fish. So guys, take this information for what it is. If you got information, man, leave it in the comments. If you got any questions, leave it in the comments. I'm always here to help when I can. I do have a clip at the end of the video of me in the wintertime last winter with this popping cork, trying out that new popping cork, pulling in a pretty good old trout, man. So check that out. Just when you watch that, watch how the pole's working. You don't see me acting crazy or doing whatever. All you see is that pole going 1, 2, 3, and just sitting there. And what I'm doing when I'm sitting there, as I'm drifting to it, I'm reeling in the slack. But I'm not messing with that, because I want that thing to make a popping sound, and I want it to sit there, and I want that fish over here to come investigate. I don't want to keep popping and that fish go, oh, you know. You sit it there, just pay attention to how I work that and how I catch them. Right on, guys. I hope to see you on the water. Tight lines, and God bless. All right, anglers, I'm going to talk to you guys real quick about popping corks. These are just a few types right here and a few types that I've used, and there are a lot more out there. But these are the types that I have used, and I will tell you why I use the ones that I do and why I don't use the ones I don't anymore. Okay, what we got right here is your standard styrofoam popping cork. It's got a little insert right here where you put your line through here, and then this here is supposed to hold it in place. This one's even got a little rattle on it, but the reason I don't stick with these right here is because usually inside here the line usually runs and it usually cuts it in there like a saw and it separates, so your insert here doesn't hold it anymore. I mean, it's a good one. I always keep a couple of these just for backups if I need it or if I'm in a pinch. All right, now this one right here, this one used to be my go-to one right here. I like this one because of the hard plastic, because of the rattle, and you can adjust this one. What I would do is I would set up a swivel and then put me about a foot underneath it of leader and put this on top of the swivel. Then I'd wrap, my braid to mono. So then I'd wrap my braid right here, would hold it in place and keep it from sliding. So if I wanted to change the depth, all I had to do was undo the braid, slide this up, and then wrap the braid back around it, and I changed my depth. Simple, easy. But this one was always good for me with live bait, but I never had any luck with this one with artificials. Now, y'all might have, it might be good. I may have not put it to too much practice, but anyway. Okay, this little one right here, I've kind of stayed away from it because I like the ones that are like the styrofoam one with the big flat top, and this one doesn't have it, but it is good. It does have these beads that make good noise, make good popping noise that'll draw them in, and it has a swivel right here on each end, which I really like. The only thing I don't like about this one is this metal right here that's going through can bend, and that'll cause it to be no good anymore. But other than that, if you guys use this one or like this one, man, and leave a comment and let me know. All right, I got given this one right here, and it's a really big one compared to other ones. But this one right here is really good for bigger waves, bigger chop. You can you can see it better. It's bigger to see. I was leery about using this because, like I said, I like the flat top. But this one here made a really good popping and splashing noise. And then this got a good weight on it. These beads in there are really good, and then swivels on both ends. But instead of having the hard metal in the center right here, it is a coated cable that is strong and bendable, and it just bends back into place. Okay guys, this one right here has turned into one of my favorite popping corks and the one that I use the most. It's got a lot of everything I like. It's got the flat top, and I just really started liking corks like this. You saw the other one I liked, the little hard plastic one. So the reason I like this one right here is because it has the same coated cable, so it's bendable and it goes back into place. All right, you got this good weight down here, the bead, and then you have this washer right here that keeps the beads and everything from messing your plastic up right here. That is a really good option right there. And you got these good beads up here, but both ends have a good swivel on it right here, and I like my live bait, and I like stuff like this to have swivels so my line don't get all spun around it. So anyway, the thing about these popping corks right here that I like being able to move, what happens is when you pop it like that, see how it pulls it back this way. All right, well, when it straightens, what happens is this weight causes it to straighten up, and when it drops, boom, these weights, these beads right here make a popping sound that sounds just like a bait busting or a bait coming up and flipping. So this noise right here makes the sound of an attacking or a fleeing fish, and then this one makes the same, a fleeing fish. So it draws fish in, and ever since I started using this type of popping cork right here with artificials, I've been finding fish everywhere. Right on, guys.
All right, anglers, just a quick rundown on how to use a popping cork and quickly why a popping cork works. So the popping cork basically mimics a feeding fish or a bait fish pop in the top of the water. And then them beads, like on that popping cork that I showed you, they come down once that weight is released and they make a freeing sound, like a fish popping sound. And what that does is other fish in the area, if they hear that, they think that fish are feeding, that there's food in the area, and they come around to investigate. So one of my tricks that I'll let y'all know about that I like to use to find fish when I cannot see any signs such as slicks, birds working, or bait busting, or anything like that. And if I know that there's an area that holds fish, or if it's even a new area I want to try, what I'll do is I'll drift with the current. And I throw that popping cork in front of me, and I pop it as I drift towards it. Then I throw it back, and I pop it again as I go for it. And you don't know how many times I've found schools of fish. So as soon as I get a bite that way, I throw my anchor out, throw my push pole down, and after I pull that fish in, I keep on trying to see if there's any more, if there's a school around here. So anyway, like I said, you don't know how many times I found fish that way. So good secret, good way to try to find fish when there is no signs of them, instead of just sitting there and throwing some bait in the water. So anyway, what you do when you're doing a popping cork is you cast it out and you don't act crazy pulling it back to you. Too much noise, too much splashing is going to be unnatural, and it's going to scare the fish off. What you're trying to do is mimic. So what you do is I throw it out, 1, 2, maybe 3 soft taps, pop just enough to make that flat end on that popping cork make a water splash. You want it to go pop, splash, and then beat as it comes back down with them beads. So you do that, 1, 2, 3, wait, man, 5, maybe 10 seconds, just sit there and chill and see if something's going to get it. Nothing happens, 1, 2, 3, sit there. Now what I used to do, you can do that and work it back to you, or you can sit in place. What I like to do when I was anchored up and I knew there were fish in a certain area, I used the current. So if there's fish over here and a little bit over here, I cast over here if the current's running that way. And my popping cork eases in there, and the whole time, 1, 2, 3, wait, 1, 2, 3, wait. And as it drifts in this area and gets towards them fish, then it's going to light them up. And that way, instead of just sitting there in one spot, you're covering a whole entire area without doing nothing. Okay guys, the way I set up my popping cork is, normally I fish a lot of shallow water. So firstly, I set it off about a foot below, about a foot leader. And I tie a Norton quick twist on the bottom. That way I can change lures or put a hook on and use live bait if I decide to use live bait. So basically I'll go out there, anything, most places I fish are going to be about 1.5 feet deep, and maybe sometimes shallower. But you get to about 3, 4 foot, 5 foot deep, you may want to drop it down to 18 inches to 2 feet. But you just find out and play with it till you find the level that the fish are on if you're in deeper water like that. Hope that helped y'all out, guys, man. Y'all got any more insights? Y'all got any questions about popping corks? Y'all got any questions, man? Just put a question mark down there. All right, guys, tight lines and God bless. What's up, anglers? I am setting up that popping cork that I told you guys about. Getting ready to try it out and see if we can get on some fish here in a good cold weather spot. If you look, I got a jig head with a gulp shrimp. My Norton quick twist, it's got a nice swivel on it. Got about a foot of leader, and then that popping cork I told you about. So we're gonna put it to work and see if we can catch some fish. It's a lot more windier than they said it was gonna be. All right, guys, I found him. With the popping cork. Let's see what we got. All right, let's get this guy. Oh, guys. Look at that. Nope, not my personal best. Wow, he is just a fat pig, guys. Look at that. Look at that. What a fat pig. What a fat pig. Alright, let's safely release this guy. Put him back over here. You gonna be alright? You gonna make it? Look at that!